Turn it up. Turn it up. You're listening to the fastest growing leadership podcast in the Philippines. Bringing you the realest mentoring advice from experts on leadership.
I'm a real big believer in letting people do their thing.
Customer experience and everything human.
Some people see the thing that they want, and some people see the thing that prevents them from getting the thing that they want.
The Young Leader Podcast.
Keeping it 100, trill, and authentic. Now your host, international speaker, trainer, and your favorite human, Bryken Diao.
Bryken Diao.
Hi everyone, welcome to the Young Leader Podcast, where my job is to understand the journey of these leaders and visionaries. I am Bryken Diao, and thank you so much for being here. Ang ating kilalang panauhin ngayong gabi ay nagtuturo ng kasaysayan sa Salle University at Broadcast Communication sa University of the Philippines. Siya rin ang PRO ng Philippine Historical Association. Nagtapos ng BA at MA sa kasaysayan at kandidato o magtatapos ng PhD sa antropolohiya sa UP Diliman. Kasamang nagsulat ng aklat na Bonifacio, ang unang Pangulo, at ng Bayani Biographies, Andres Bonifacio. Naglathala na rin sa iba't ibang artikulo sa mga journal na akademiko. Naging orihinal na panelista ng The Bottom Line with Boy Abunda sa ABS-CBN at consultant ng History with Lord sa TV5. Meron din ng mga teleseryang Katipunan at ilustrado sa GMA7. Lumikha ng Showtime television segment na ngayon ay isang column sa Abante tuwing linggo. Nagsusulat din siya ng column sa The Manila Times tuwing Sabado. Siya ang isa sa pinakaaktibong public historian sa telebisyon sa bansa at ngayon dito sa The Young Leader Podcast. Mga Ginoo at Ginang, ito po si Michael Charleston Xiao Chua. Hey, Prof. Xiao Chua, kumusta?
Makasaysayang gabi, Bryken, at sa lahat ng ating mga nakikinig.
Maraming salamat sa pagpapa-unlock. Oh my God, I mean, the Tagalog is killing me, but I have to try.
Okay lang, conversational lang naman ako. Hindi masyadong malalim akong mag-Filipino.
Ayan. That's good, Prof. Sige, Prof.
Apo.
Pop question. I heard that you like processed foods. Sobrang meron ako na-research na gusto mo ng processed foods. So, which is better? Longganisa?
Ano?
Or tocino? San ka doon? Which is better? Longganisa or tocino?
Longganisa.
Bakit?
Skinless longganisa. Wala. Basta yun ang feeling ko, mas masarap lang talaga siya for no reason at all. But, there are times na pag nagsawa ako sa longganisa, naghahanap din ako ng tocino. So,
yeah.
Pero ang pinaka the best sa lahat ng mga meat, processed meat, ay yung Pure Foods TJ hotdog.
plug.
I have to say the brand.
Sige, gusto ko yan.
Kasi, yan talaga alam mo yon. Pero may mga gusto rin akong ibang hotdog. Hindi maselan sa hotdog hapagan mo ako ng hotdog kahit pwede. Pero sarap na sarap talaga. In fact, yan ang craving ko kanina. Wala lang dito sa bahay ngayon pero I still believe that the best, the greatest food ever invented by man is Lucky Me Pancit Canton.
Amen to that. Amen. Wait lang, kailangan ko ng palakpakan dyan. Kailangan ko palakpakan dyan.
Palakpakan!
Bakit the greatest invention of man is actually pancit canton, which is Lucky Me?
The greatest food invented by man kasi hindi siya meat, di ba? Yan ay, yan ay wheat o flour. Pero ang sarap ng ng sauce yung halo-halo nung sauce.
Yeah.
At saka MSG. Alam mo yon, kung gusto mong abusuhin ang katawan mo sa sarap, no?
Yeah.
Lucky me pancit.
YOLO.
But again, ang ano ko sa inyo, alam niyo kasi ako, I want to live happy. Oh, and die happy. So maybe that's why. But I try my best. I eat some new foods now. Noon talaga parang hindi ko kaya. Ngayon, may mga gulay na rin akong kinakain kahit papaano. Dahil gusto ko namang umaba talaga ang buhay ko. Masaya tayo sa ginagawa natin eh. So, I want to live a long life. So, medyo kumakain na ako. Kaso, paunti-unti, no? Paunti-unti naman. But yeah, sarap ang processed food talaga. Ang joke nga sa akin eh, pag ako natigok, para akong magiging Eva Peron.
Bakit?
O kaya Ferdinand Marcos. Kasi hindi na ako maaagnas. Pwede akong i-display tapos sasabihin nila, ay parang natutulog lang kasi sa dami ng preservatives.
Actually, siguro bago tayo mag-move on sa
sino nagkwento sa iyo niyan, ha?
Well, one of the production sa TV5 definitely. Well, I researched, I did my part. Pero sige, bago ako mag-move on sa serious questions and everything, gusto ko lang matanong din, napansin mo ba yung change ng pancit canton from the old Lucky Me pancit canton to the
definitely.
new old?
And people clamored na ibalik doon sa dati. At bumalik na siya doon sa dati. Thinner na ngayon yung ulit dati kumapal yan hindi kakagatin ng tao kasi nga tamang-tama na yung texture nung una eh. 'Di ba? At saka wag mong lulutuin ng more than 3 minutes. 3 minutes
True.
lang talaga 'yon. Kasi pag lumaki na hindi na siya ganoon kasarap. At kailangan kainin mo siya pagka-serve sa'yo. Hindi mo siya pwedeng kainin ng mga 5 minutes after o 10 minutes after dahil hindi na siya ganoon kasarap. Yan ang pinakamasarap talaga na pagkain. At maraming natulungang estudyante yan. Maraming natulungang hirap. Diba? Sa dormitory namin noon sa UP, sa Kalay, tsaka sa yan na niluluto namin. Napakasarap. Mabubuhay ka na.
Yeah,
pagkain ng masa.
Yeah, shout out sa sa kantunan ng Lyceum, mga ka-alma mater ka dyan. Sige, Prof.
Yeah, dapat baikan, kailangan pakanton ka pagka natapos ng pandemic na to. Papakanton ka sa may kasamang hotdog.
Oo naman, syempre. Sabi ko nga, nag-post nga ako dun sa isang grupo namin. Sabi ko, papakanton ako pag 100,000 na tayo. So, mga 98,000 na lang. Anyway, Prof, sige. Let's start. What do you do and how do you do it? Ano ang ginagawa mo at paano mo ginagawa yung mga ginagawa mo?
Okay, basically, my bread and butter is being assistant professor, professorial lecturer. Ibig sabihin, I'm part-time at the Salle University History Department. Yan talaga ang bumubuhay sa akin. On the sides, I'm actually a professional historian. You can call me a professional historian because I had a training as a BA and MA history graduate at UP Diliman. Pero yung kasi pagiging historian dito sa Pilipinas, hindi talaga siya hindi siya nagiging main source of income, no? Ito'y ginagawa mo along with other things, no? Kasi sa US, kapag ka ikaw ay historian, pwede kang kumita sa mga libro, no? Kasi million ng sales ng books sa US. Dito sa Pilipinas, kasi ang reading culture kasi dito, hindi natin sasabing hindi nagbabasa ang mga Pilipino, pero yung kasing mga academic books, hindi yan ang kanilang binabasa. Kung maging kakatulad ka ni yung mga romance pocket books yan, talagang kikita ka diyan. Pero sa Pilipinas, kung author ka ng history, hindi pera ang habol mo. So that's what I do. I para ma-promote ako sa job ko, gumagawa ako ng academic papers. Yan. Yeah. Pero ang most of my life is actually racket. Racket yan, na. Sabi naman nila, kaya sinasabi ko sa mga bata, if they ask me, na sabi nila, sir, paano ba maging historian na katulad mo? Kailangan warningan ko sila na wala kang talagang kikitain dito na napakalaki. No? Pero kung gusto mo nagre-research, you want to meet people simple lang ang kagustuhan mo sa buhay, hindi ka mangangya, you will get by. Alam mo, ang lagi nang sinasabi ng isang colleague ko, no, the chairman of the National Historical Commission of the Philippines, si Dr. Escalante. Sabi niya, wala namang yumaman dahil sa paghihistory. No? At the same vein, kung yumaman man ng isang historian, yan ay hindi dahil sa pagiging historian niya. Either mayaman na siya noon o may business siya or whatever. In the same vein, wala rin namang naghirap dahil sa historian siya. Naghirap siya dahil sa ibang bagay. 'Di ba? So, at kapag ikaw ay segue ko lang kapatid na Brian, ano? If you are going to study Bachelor of Arts in History, for example, I'm always telling the kids, there's so many things that you can do. You can go to law, you can go to foreign service, you can go to tourism, you can go to research. Ang daming research na hindi necessarily history. Pero yung solid grounding ng methodology ay nakukuha mo dyan. You can go to journalism. Ang daming nag-journalism, ang daming nag-broadcasting from the history. At you can go to politics, of course. Yan ang napakaraming pwede mong gawin if you do the work. Pero ako, I chose to be first and foremost a teacher, second, a historian, but what defines me now is the racket. And the racket is public history. Public history.
So
which is my engagement. Yan.
Yeah. So sorry. What's public history? Kasi sorry, kanina Prof sabi mo, kapag nag-historian or naging historian ka, let's just put it out there, layman, walang pera dyan. Like, sabi mo nga, kung mayaman ka na talaga before. Or and then sabi mo, wala naman naghihirap. So, other things yung pwede ka maghirap pero hindi pagiging historian. Kung hindi pera or future ang habol mo, kanina, na-caught ko yung kanina, ano yung habol mo, Prof? Ikaw, as a professional na historian or ng Philippines?
Well, una sa lahat, ano ba yung habol ko? Bakit nung bata pa ako, yan ang gusto kong gawin? Alam mo yon? Well, I have here my yearbook, no, nung sa school natin, sa Tarlac First Baptist Church School. Ang nakalagay dyan, ang dream ko pala noon, grade 6, ay maging politician at TV commentator and other professional sidelines. So, hindi ko pa na-define na gusto kong mag-history. Pero nahihiligan ko na siya noon. Sa TAPSA, sa mga competition kay Sir Bernie, no, malangit naman kanyang kaluluwa, sinasama niya ako, si Ma'am Fernandez, no, Nunog, no, Jenny Nunog. Sa TAPSA, no, sumasama ako sa TAPSA competition. Nananalo ako diyan. Nagkaroon ako ng silver and gold medals diyan sa TAPSA sa Civic at Kultura Quiz Bee, no? Noon pa man, hilig ko na. Grade 5 din kasi ako. Just let me talk
go.
Nakakatuwa.
That's actually my next question. How did it start? So, sige, tuloy na natin.
Nung nasa Tarlac, nandito ako sa Tarlac, siyempre, nung panahon ng 84 ako, tulad ng na-research mo, lumalaki ako panahon ng People Power Revolution. At siyempre, proud tayo, kahit ang daming crisis, no? Proud ako na si Cory Aquino ay presidente ng Pilipinas, taga Tarlac. Diba? At nakikita ko yung mga scenes of people power sa media, yung mga kudeta, di ba? Naging interested ako sa history. Tapos, di ba, lumindol noong July 16, 1919, nagkaroon ng pagputok ng Mount Pinatubo. So, yung ako, as a TV viewer, sobrang engrossed ako kay Noli de Castro. Gusto kong maging katulad ni Noli de Castro. So, hanggang ngayon, Noli de Castro, sabi ko nga pag nawala siguro sa radyo si Noli de Castro, baka magugunaw na ang mundo. Kasi kahit minsan hindi mo na gusto yung sinasabi niya, basta napapakinggan mo siya, parang normal lang buhay. But anyway, I wanted to be like him.
Actually, that makes sense.
Diba?
Yeah.
And then I read Ambeto Campo, Rizal Without the Overcoat, when I was in grade 5. So mahilig ako sa history, pero only when I read Ambeto Campo, I considered being a historian a career.
Okay, sorry. For all the for all the ones na hindi familiar kay Ambet Ocampo, sino po siya?
Si Ambet Ocampo is our most popular public historian in the English language. 'Di ba? Kasi siya yung merong Inquirer column na looking back, a series of books that all are bestsellers.
Yeah.
Yung kanyang mga lectures sa Ayala Museum are the most sought after lectures. No? Kasi I mean, ang hirap mag-market ng lecture. Pero if you go to Ambet's lectures, it's always standing room only. So, he had established himself as the most known historian sa panahong ito. No? So, especially for those who are reading Inquirer and reading books in English. No? So, yan ang inspirasyon ko, no? And then eventually when I was in high school, nasa St. Matthew Christian Academy ako, Karangyan, diyan ka nanggaling sa Karangyan, ano, sa barangay na yan. That was, and I can remember this, no? There was the centennial celebrations, the Rizal centennial, the death centenary. I watched that night ang buhay ng isang bayani. That was December 30 of 1996.
Wow,
at
sharp
11,
memory.
11 or 10 p.m. at GMA7, I watched that documentary, Ang Buhay ng Isang Bayani, read by Juni Gamboa. Oh? And then eventually, yun yung boses na yung National Steel Corporation. We're building a country. Yan. So, siya yung nagbabasa nun. And then, isang documentary niya ulit, napanood ko, September 21, 1997, at about 9 p.m. at Channel 2, ABS-CBN, Batas Militar. These are turning points in my life where I said, I wanted to be a historian. And nung second year high school ako, when I watched Batas Militar, sabi ko, I wanted to be a historian who talks about the atrocities of martial law. Specific yon. Because sabi ko, ako kakapanganak ko pa lang
by that time,
actually, nung EDSA. Parang bakit ganun? Hindi ko na alam. Hindi na naikukwento yung marami sa mga kwentong ito. So sabi ko, gusto ko maging teacher. Na yan ng advocacy ko. So, when I was in grade 5 also, dinadala ako ng tita ko tsaka ng mother ko sa Fort Santiago, sa mga places, amazing places sa history, na nakikita ko lang sa libro. No? Meron akong libro nun, yung Bayang Magiliw, ang pangalan niya. Sinulat pala ni na Almario to. I mean, who would have known I will be friends with them after some time, ano? But I was there. I was reading their books, Aklat Adarna, and then I dreamed of going to Manila. Dream lang yun. Dream to just go there in those places. And nagawa ko. And sabi ko, at that young, kasi binabasa ko yung mga history. Grade 5 ako eh. Grade 4. Sabi ko, sana makapag-tour ako ng mga tao dito. Kasi nakikita ko yung mga turista eh. May mga nagsasalita, di ba? Gagawin ko rin yan pagdating ng panahon. Yan ang pangarap ko noon. And I think another one was seeing Ambeto Campo annotate the Philippine Centennial Parade. Sabi ko, gusto ko yung ginagawa niya. So, sabi ko, and who would have known? Kasi that was in 1998.
Yes.
In the 2009, 11 years after the Philippine Centennial, I was the one annotating the 2009 Independence Day Parade. And there are so many years after that will follow na ako ang official commentator of the Independence Day celebrations and other national celebrations, Rizal Day, Bonifacio Day, the sesquicentennial of Mabini, other historical national heroes day, lahat yung mga araw ng kagitingan, lahat ng yan, na annotate ko yan. So, what happened to me was eventually what happened to me is naipagsama ko yung passion ko for history and my desire na maging broadcaster.
Yeah. You know what, Prof? Napakalaki mo because definitely bata ka pa lang, you actually want to you wanted to be a historian talaga, and it's sabi mo it's actually your passion, 'di ba? So paano mo actually na-realize na it's your passion? Dahil kasi hilig mo siya, dahil kasi ito yung mga lagi mo nakikita, and then pagdating mo ng college after ng high school, parang you decided ito talaga yung path ko. Wala bang doubts before? Kasi sabi mo nga, 'di ba, ang uso kasi noon was nursing. Right? Uso that time was nursing pag pupunta ka ng college. So what made you
Correct.
decide to push for it? Like, wala ba nagpigil sa'yo when it comes to the parent side, sa family side, influence and everything? Why did
Okay.
you push for it?
Very, very good question. And I'll give you a very, very, hindi naman long, but it's quite a complicated background, ano?
Go.
I'll tell you. When I was young, the thought of having a 4-year course in college dreads me.
Why?
Nung elementary ako, parang iniisip ko, 4 years. Parang ang tagal mag-aral. Parang gusto ko na magtrabaho agad. Parang yung nafe-feel ng ibang mga bata ngayon na K-12 pagka senior high, gusto na magtrabaho. Gusto ko ganun din.
Yeah.
Parang ang tagal ng 4 years. Tapos may math, may science. Ayoko yung mga subject. I mean, sorry. I like them, but they don't like. I like them, but they don't like me. They're not cool. Oh. So, alam mo yun? At ang secret lang pala, para maging magaling sa math, ay dapat grade 3 pa lang, memorize mo na yung multiplication table, which I wasn't able to do. Matigas ang ulo ko. Hindi ko nagawa. So, yan ang foundation. So, sabi ko, kung pwede, ano kaya, may vocational course kaya, ganun, vocational. Parang yun yung iniisip ko, tech-voc ang kukunin ko. And eventually, parang, kasi parang, kasi ang hilig mo lang talaga history eh. Iniisip mo, hindi naman pagiging engineering yan. Hindi naman pagiging, doctor, medicine, science, biology. Hindi mo alam kung ano. No? Nung nakita ko na lang yung form sa UPCAT, dapat talaga ang kukunin ko Masscom. Masscom talaga. Quota course. Kung tinignan ko yung mga course ko, nakita ko history. I'll tell you something.
Go.
Ang pagiging historian ay hindi kilala ng mga tao noon. And I take a very, very little credit na yan ay nakilala ng ordinaryong tao na meron palang trabaho pagiging historian.
Yeah.
When I started appearing in sa TV noon, ang laging sinasabi lang, "Sir, sociologist ba kayo?" Sir, sociologist kasi si Randy David yung nasa sociology noon sa TV. So lahat ng social scientists, ang tingin nila sociologist. So yung mga media na yan, lalagay nila anthropologist, sociologist. Sabi ko, pwede bang ilagay nyo historian? Kasi magtataas sila ng kilay kapag ginawa ninyo yan. So, yun, nung nasa bottom line ako, nakalagay historian. Ngayon, lahat ng tao sa Facebook gusto nang maging historian. Diba? I take a little credit for that. Ano? It's really not from my parents because my parents were very supportive of me. No, wala silang lahat ng hilig ko talagang nila, no, pinagbigyan nila. It's really more of yung, do I belong to my classmates? I mean, parang hindi nila ako nasasakyan. Mas ganon. Tapos parang, hindi naman kami bullied per se na bullied directly. Pero alam mong may konting, hindi ka belong. Hindi ka belong. Kahit sa mga kalaro ko,
this was
ko, ganon.
In the younger years, na you felt na hindi ka belong, na you felt differently talaga. Na, bakit sila lahat basketball lang gusto, bakit ako iba yung gusto ko? Yeah.
At kapag hindi ka marunong mag-basketball noon, ang tawag sa'yo, bakla.
There's a truth in that. Yeah, there's a truth in that.
Exactly. So may yan, kasi ang tangkad-tangkad ko, hindi ako nagba-basketball. Ang sabi na, sayang ka, hindi mo ka mapakinabangan. Yun pa. Dahil basketball lang pinakamahalaga sa Pilipino nung panahon na yun eh. So, I mean,
Totoo yan.
Exactly, di ba? So, ang daming, alam mo yun, yung parang, nung high school ako, tinawag akong mama's boy. Sa klase, pinag-usapan yung family, tapos pinuri ako ng teacher kasi supportive yung parents ko, tinawag akong mama's boy. Hindi daw ako magiging successful dahil hindi na daw ako aalis sa saya ng nanay ko. So, there's those kinds of, parang sinasabi nila na hindi ako magiging successful because of who I am. And then dahil at saka yung baduy, alam mo yun, yung mga pananamit ko, alam mo yun, yung nationalistic songs na pinapakinggan ko, parang walang nakaka-gets noon. Parang ang weird ko. No? Parang and then eventually my best friend Mayo Baluyot, the musician and the filmmaker, he introduced me to carefully listening to the Beatles. And that's when I started to accept that it's okay to be weird. It's okay to be different. And it's okay to pursue your passions. Yun ang naging 1999 yun. That was also one of the turning points in my life.
Wow. That is so powerful. What's your message, Prof, dun sa mga kids natin na they're actually feeling the same way? I agree with you. Hindi ka marunong mag-basketball nun. Lampa ka nun or hindi ka marunong tumakbo. Ang tawag na sa'yo before is bading ka or bakla ka. And that's our generation bullying yun. Yun yung di pa natin alam.
Yan ang
Di pa natin alam ang word na bullying nun at that time. Pero yun na yun.
Hindi.
Pero what can you actually tell or say or share dito sa mga nakakaranas din ng ganito? Like even in high school na, wait, bakit parang hindi ko feel na belong pero wala akong kasangga dito. Ako lang mag-isa talaga na gusto ko ganito pero ako lang nakakagets nito. So should I just change it kasi nga walang nakakagets sa akin? So what can you actually share with those young people na nakikinig na if they're odd or they're not with the majority, okay lang?
I'll say it straight into the camera and looking at you. Don't give up. Okay? Don't give up. Alam niyo bakit? Simple.
Why?
Bullying will be there. Kahit anong mangyari, merong masama ang loob. Merong mayabang. Sa eskwelahan, maranasan mo yan. Ako sabi ko, kasi di ba parang meron tayong against bullying, which is okay. But, feeling ko hindi rin ako naging napakatibay. Because remember, Brycan, there are times that I don't know in any Facebook page today or any Facebook post, minumura ako. For whatever it is that I said. For whatever political stand I have. You cannot imagine, if you're not a public figure, you cannot imagine na may makikita ka na sa inbox mo na minumura ka, maraming sinasabing kalaswaan, maraming sinasabing kung ano-ano, laban sa'yo, may mga threats, may mga kung ano-ano, minsan magpo-post sa ano mo. I mean, may mental health din naman ako, di ba? Pero, and naaapektuhan din ako niyan. But, there's just a time when, di ba? And not all historians are like, nangyayari sa kanila yan. It's happening to me because I chose to be public.
True.
Di ba? But, sabi ko nga, kahit ano pang sabihin mo, maganda yung mga advocacy for anti-bullying. Pero ako, iniisip ko, kung hindi ako na-bully, parang okay na din eh. Parang nagpapasalamat na rin ako sa mga umapi sa akin. And I can remember their names. I can tell you their names and kilala mo sila. Kilala mo sila, Brycan. But you know, I wouldn't have chosen an easier path. Because I know that kung ano man ang narating ko ngayon, it is because pinatibay ako ng lahat ng experiences na yan. Kahit nung college, may nagsabi rin sa akin, engineering student from UP ka, dorm mate ko sa Yakal. No? Na sinabi niya sa akin na, ba't ka pa nag-aaral ng history? Past is past. Walang kwenta yan. What is important is the present. Patay na lahat ng pinag-aaralan mo.
What did you say?
And you know, I cried and I shouted. I cried in the room. I went to my room. I cried. I shouted. Yung pinakamalutong na PI na sinabi ko sa buong buhay ko, isinigaw ko. Na may biglang, hoy, gumanon pa sa akin dahil narinig nga ako. No? But, you know, I wouldn't have traded an easier path. Kasi kung ano man ako ngayon, talagang kailangan ko pala lahat yung sakit ng loob na yon para mapatunayan ko lang sa sarili ko na ito talaga ang gusto ko. At dito talaga ako magiging masaya. Eh, hindi ko bibitawan to. Hanggat kaya ko. Kasi may mga points sa buhay mo, Brycan, na you're also looking at, ano ba, sasamahan mo ba yung, di ba, pupunta ka ba sa ibang bansa? Di ba? Sasamahan mo ba yung love life mo? Gusto niya pumunta sa ibang bansa? I worked so hard to be in this place. Na wala akong masyadong financial power. But I think that I am able to help teachers around the country and help students of history, Araling Panlipunan, Rizal, readings in Philippine history around the country. And there's no better fulfillment than that, Brian. No better fulfillment.
Wow. What the success looks like as a Xiao Chua historian? Or naranasan mo na ba yung crowning moment mo when you did that centennial na, na you were involved in those activities? Or meron ka pa talagang inaasam na pag nakita mo to at some point or naranasan mo to, wait lang, eto na yan, I made it.
As a public historian, I am contented with the reach that I have. Wala akong pangarap na maging 1,000,000 YouTube viewers ako. I have now, and I just started my proper YouTube channel. I did not think of YouTube channel. Dati, nagpo-post lang ako doon. And then, iniwan ko yon. There's a new YouTube channel. Please subscribe. Xiao Chua. Xiaochua. Subscribe. And ang nakakatuwa doon, I just started during the pandemic. When the pandemic started, I started to collect my lectures, my old videos, na makakatulong sa teachers. Shout times that were removed by People's Television recently, na ilagay ko sila ulit, para sa mga teachers natin. Kasi libre yan eh. Alam mo yon, binayaran ako ng bayan, kahit gaano kaliit yan. Yan I gave all of myself there in Shout Time. Those are 640 episodes I made in the span of 4.5 years. From 2012 to 2017. Various topics in history. Kaya minsan may mga bata na, ito nakakatuwa, no? Again, hindi naman ako sikat na sikat. I'm relatively famous. But I was in the steps of Palma Hall in UP, AS. And then, nagtakbuhan yung mga bata. Tapos sumisigaw sa akin na, it's showtime! It's showtime! It's showtime!
Talking about going public. And yeah, talking about going public.
Oh, sorry, Brian. Sorry.
Go.
Last na lang.
Sige.
Brian, but, ito yung but.
Yeah.
In my professional life, there's one thing lacking.
What?
And that's my doctorate. My doctorate. Because hindi ako ma-permanent because of that lacking. So, I'm in public, I'm contented. But in my professional life, I want to be a PhD. I'm working on my dissertation now, but the problem is being a public historian and doing my racket, because racket, I need the money, okay?
Yes.
I need the money to pay the bills.
True.
Hindi ako makapag-focus sa dissertation ko. Na malapit ko nang matapos, pero hindi ko matapos. Ang dami ko nang nagawa. Nasulat ko na, pero hindi ko pa rin matapos kasi eto na naman. Meron na namang isusulat na script. I have a deadline with the columns that I have because I have 2 columns every week. No, meron na namang eto na naman, no? May mga webinars, may mga interviews, no?
Yeah.
So, but I cannot stop. I mean, strike while the iron is hot.
True.
So that's not perfect. So Brian, it's not perfect, but I'm perfectly happy.
Very nice. At least I think the key point here is you know what you want. Like you are when it comes to the public or the famous side of things, you're contented because you have your own reach. And the other one is your personal. At least you still have that goal that you need to reach, or you need to have your PhD at some point. That's nice. Even at this age of ours, na we're nearing 40. That's a good thing that we're still having those mini goals or short goals. Sige, Prof, you were a professor for UP and La Salle. Definitely anong year ba ang mga tinuturuan natin, or may specific year ba? Freshman
yan. Kasi I teach a GE course ang tawag nila, no? Yung history, parang history 1. Yung Philippine history, readings in Philippine history. It's a new name Readings in Philippine history. And Rizal, no? Na pwedeng kunin ng kahit anong Pero yun, usually they're fresh ang tawag namin sa Lasal. Freshmen. Fresh. And then in UP, I used to teach in the history department. That was my first job. For 3 years, that
Yeah.
was my first job. Pero alam mo, kwentong pang MMK yung pag-alis ko doon. That's another one of my moments na parang I felt that that was the end of me. Kasi nung
When you left
hindi na
UP?
ako nagtuturo sa UP, when I left UP,
Yeah.
parang it's the UP name that makes Xiao Chua, di ba, a brand. Is
Yeah.
the UP name. Hindi pa ako masyadong nagti-TV noon, although may mga appearances na ako. Kasi kaya ako nagsimula na makita sa TV kasi the older historians, they have bad experience with media. Kasi ayaw nila na pinuputol yung sinasabi nila.
Gets.
Di ba? Sa media kasi, di ba, parang pag ikakat yan eh.
They
Lilitaw
have
ka
to
lang
edit
yung
it.
yung pinakabobong sinabi mo, yun ang inilagay nila. So galit na galit sila sa ganong experience. Oh. Ako, wala akong pakialam. Ang gusto ko lang, parang nung si Cito Beltran, ini-interview sina Ben Cervantes, sina Carlos Celdran nung unang panahon. Parang, pag nakita ka sa TV, ang laking bagay. So sabi ko, wala akong pakialam kung yung pinakabobong sinabi ko ang nilagay nila. Basta makita ko sa TV. Yan ang, kaya ako yung,
Branding
ako
pa din.
yung laging pinupuntahan ng media. Diba?
And
Ako yung
the thing,
pinupuntahan laging ng media.
yeah, like Prof, nung pinapanood ko yung mga interviews mo, I think one of your strengths is or are na madali mo explain yung history in a manner na layman talaga, na even me kapag pinakinggan ko parang madali siyang i-digest. Kasi before, when not to stereotype the old historians or the old people na nagsasabi ng history natin, medyo it's not that interesting compared to you. Me being like not really well versed pagdating sa history, like when I heard your explanation, sabi ko ang galing, ang direct, ang simpleng intindihin, sabi ko. So that's why when I saw your interview, sabi ko parang
Brian,
yeah,
may formula ako dyan eh. Sasabihin ko sa'yo, sikreto ito.
go give it to them.
Pag ini-interview ako, ang iniisip ko, may intindihan ba ito ng nanay ko? Kasi nanay ko lang ang nanonood sa akin eh. Di ba? So, kung ang nanay ko naiintindihan ng sinasabi ko, yun ang kasi nanay ko lang magte-text sa akin, napanood kita. Di ba? Yan, nanay ko ang number 1 fan ko eh. So, pagka naiintindihan ako ng nanay ko, tapos iniisip ko, naiintindihan kaya ako ng aling bebang. Sa media, ang tawag namin aling bebang. Yung mga sa taga-palengke, yung mga security guard, yung mga waiter. Yan. Pag naiintindihan nilang sinabi ko, ayos na ako doon. That is my fulfillment. Wow. So,
very nice.
Kapag minsan may lumalapit na sa restaurant, may mga waiter nagsasabing, kayo po yung historian o kaya pedicab driver, ay parang guguho na yung loob ko noon. Talagang sabi ko, Lord, wala akong reklamo. Salamat, binigyan mo ako ng ganitong pagkakataon.
Grabe. Ang simple ng buhay. Ang simple ng you make life so easy, parang the way you actually tell us tonight, and grabe, nakakaingit yung contentment. Nakakaingit yung contentment na pinapakita mo sa amin, Prof. Sige, Prof. What is the most interesting?
Go. Wait lang
Go.
Sorry, kasi it's a very pressing issue among young people of today. Na nape-pressure sila pag may nakikita sila sa Instagram na 20 years old, 30 years old ay milyonaryo, 'di ba? 'Di ba nag-iinggit pa sila na nakakotse na ng 18 years old, 'di ba? Alam mo, ganun yung drive eh. Parang sabi nga ni Nas Daily, no?
Daily.
Si Nasir Nasir Hussein. I forgot his name. No?
Yeah,
Pero
yeah.
si
Nas
Nas,
Daily.
sabi niya, my idol yan. Sabi niya, we're governed by numbers eh. It's like numbers makes us happy. Number of Facebook likes, which I'm guilty of, no? Ako kasi hindi nila like yung mga post ko masyado. Minsan may makikita. Pag nagmura ako at nagalit ako, doon na yung nagla-like. May 1,000 magla-like. Pero pag napakaganda ng sinabi ko, napakaganda ng information na binanggit ko, 2, 3, 10 ang nag-like, 'di ba? Pero yun na nga, tapos yun, we're governed by likes, we're governed by number of likes, number of Facebook views, YouTube views,
Data.
YouTube subscribers, data, millions of pesos. Pero alam mo yun, sabi nga ni Bob Marley, kung numbers ang nagpapasaya sa'yo, hindi ka sasaya kasi ang numbers hindi natatapos. 'Di ba? Hanggang
Wow.
kailan kapag na-reach mo na yung certain fulfillment mo, ay certain level, gusto mo pang mag-asam ng iba. Talagang attitude lang talaga eh. Hindi naman ako yayaman, hindi ako magiging milyonaryo. Yan ang nakikita ko. Hindi ganoon ang track ng buhay ko. Pero kung I can provide for a family, in my future family, ano mo, nag-aasam pa rin naman ako mag-asawa. Di ko lang alam kung makakapagbuo ulit ako ng relationship after a 7-year one na wala na ngayon, ano? But,
Shout out.
di ba? Shout out. Hindi perfect ang life. No? Yun ang iniisip ko eh. Hindi perfect ang life. Kung ano ang meron ka ngayon, if you believe in God, kung anong meron ka ngayon, yan ay inalaw niya. Yan ay will niya. So kung meron kang contentment, maging thankful ka at maging masaya ka. Kung binigyan ka ng napakaraming blessing, kung inong subscribers mo, nakapag-monetize ka na sa YouTube mo, o nagkaroon ka na ng small business, hindi ko sinasabi na, alam mo yon na dapat hindi ka na, alam mo, hindi nga ganun eh. Yun yung mahirap sa mga millennial ngayon. Pag hindi nila na-achieve yung certain success na iniisip nila na yun ng success, nagkaano sila, nadidismaya sila. And then, napaka-importante, Brian, na pag-usapan yung suicide, di ba? Yung depression.
Go.
Nangyayari
Go.
talaga yan. Nangyayari din sa akin yan. Pero alam mo, ang sinasabi ko lang sa sarili ko, hindi talaga perfecto ang buhay. Merong magmura sa akin. Some people will hate me. 'Di ba? Talagang ganun. I cannot get what I want. Pwedeng successful ako sa public history, sa love life, hindi. 'Di ba? But ganyan ang buhay. Ganyan ang buhay. You enjoy your life. Enjoy, you work hard for your numbers but you're not enjoying the journey. Parang I enjoyed my journey. I'm a fanboy. That's why when I see famous people, I am being with them now. 'Di ba nakakausap mo sila na they respect you, they show na nirerespeto ka nila. Sir, kayo ang nirerespeto ko noon. Kahit wala akong nakukuhang pera diyan, Brian, the happiness that I get for being a fanboy is immense. Wow. My heroes, my inspiration, they're always there. Pero I don't rely on man. I don't rely on myself kasi I can always disappoint myself. And man will always disappoint me. 'Di ba? Pero yun nga, ano yung talaga yung sinong pinagsisilbihan mo? 'Di ba? Sinong pinagsisilbihan ko? Pinagsisilbihan ko pa rin ang Diyos, ang inang bayan. Nandiyan lang ako nakafocus. Kung hanggat hindi ako lumalayo doon, I think that whatever it is that God wants me to do, I am fulfilling it.
Grabe. Ang heavy nun, Prof. And thank you for that personal side of you talaga. As in, napaka-raw. And going back, just I want to touch the depression and the suicidal tendencies of the young ones now. Kasi they see that their other colleagues are successful and they're not. And then sometimes they're being affected with those things kasi, diba? Kasi nga sabi kanina, everything is just measured by numbers. Which I get that. I'm not against that, but that's our generation at the moment. How do you talk to them? Like, what's the advice that you can get? Like, sabi nga nila, diba, like, depression is something na you can't really see. Like, etong taong to napakasaya in front, but pagdating sa bahay, napakalungkot itong taong to. And then, because nag-fail siya dun sa mga kailangan niyang gawin. Maybe nag-fail siya sa career niya, nag-fail siya sa studies niya, hindi siya nakagraduate, bumagsak siya or whatever. And then, these are like the triggers ngayon para ma-depress ka. What can you actually tell them to at least hang on, kaya pa yan, or kahit pa paano na, it's not the end of it?
You cannot say anything to a person who is depressed. You cannot say anything. I am depressive. Especially, actually, lalo kang nade-depress minsan kung napakarami rin kumakausap sa'yo. Kasi, people, total strangers who just pop out of your messenger and will talk to you for whatever reason. Diba? They will ask you anything, a question, they will invite you somewhere, they will, hindi siya madali. It also affects my mental health to be talking to 20 people a day. Diba? More in some days, diba? But, I get it. Kailangan maging empathic ka. You don't have to say anything. if you tell people that you're listening and you put yourself in their place, yun kasi yun eh. Wala kang i-advise na dekahon na out of nowhere dahil meron kang doktrina o meron kang... Kailangan ilagay mo yung sarili mo doon sa situation ng tao. Kapag na feel niya na may nakaintindi sa kanya, napakalaking bagay nun sa isang tao. Na may nakakaintindi sa kanya. That's the key.
Wow.
And when I have my own way of calming myself when I'm depressed. And siguro, yun din yung tinuro sa akin ng mga pastor natin sa Tarlac First Baptist Church noon, na forgive yourself. 'Di ba? Ang sabi ng Diyos, magpagpatawad ka sa mga kaaway mo. Pero minsan, ang pinakamalaking sinisisi mo sa buhay mo ay ang sarili mo. Sa mga pagkakamali mo, hindi mo makakalimutan. No, forgive yourself. The healing will come from forgiving yourself, but only if you've learned your lesson. 'Di ba? Ganun lang naman yun eh. Forgive yourself when you've learned your lesson. Forgive others when they've learned their lesson. 'Di ba? When you see sincerity in them. Pero yun yung nakikita ko dito. Yun yung ginagawa ko sa sarili ko kasi for now, I have so many reasons today to be depressed. 'Di ba? Hindi tayo makalabas.
Yeah.
Diba, wala tayong romansa, diba? I mean, all of these things. Diba? Alam mo yun, walang magsasabi sa'yo na, you did well, baby. You know, you just had the webinar, you're so tired. Walang nagsasabi sa'yo kahit sa text na namimiss ka niya. But,
yeah,
I'm not depressed. I don't want to be depressed because even if I am sad, I know na, you know, alam mo yung sabi ni Father Mariano Gomez, bago siya bitayin. Ang sabi ni Father Mariano Gomez bago siya bitayin, pupunta ako sa lugar na ni paggalaw ng dahon, no? O hindi gagalaw ang isang dahon nang hindi kalooban ng ating mahal na Diyos.
Wow.
Ibig sabihin, lahat na nangyayari sa buhay mo, pinahintulutan yan. At may purpose yan. Last year, nasunugan kami. Nasunog yung old house namin. No? But I would have been depressed by the destroyed books. If you see the bookshelf with many books na nangitim at nasunog, that would have destroyed me. But I was not destroyed because I know that there was a reason why it happened. Yeah. And if only I can tell myself that, even if you don't know what it is.
Yeah.
And maybe there was none, really. Maybe there is no God. We do not know. But I know that He is there. And I know that there's a reason. And that's the reason why I believe, no, na it will be all right. I thank you.
I love that. I actually like the reality part there, that not all people actually believe in God. And I but I really believe that whatever happens in your life or in our surroundings, it happens for a reason. There's a purpose. Like, kung bakit nangyayari itong ka-crazyhan na nangyayari ngayon. Sige, Prof. Pagaanan natin yung usapan natin. Hi, everyone. This episode is brought to you by El Taco Dealer. If you want to satisfy your taco cravings during this pandemic, one thing that comes to mind is El Taco Dealer. They offer frozen taco wraps that you can quickly deep fry anytime or anywhere. Well, my personal favorite is their taco time bomb. So if you love spicy food like me, I tell you, it won't disappoint. Now, visit their Facebook page El Taco Dealer and use the code TYLBRICAN when you order, as you will get a 10% discount for every 500 pesos worth of purchase. That's code TYLBRICAN. No more messy, sloppy tippy tacos, as you will never eat tacos the same way again. This is El Taco Dealer. Welcome back to the Young Leader Podcast. So Thank you again, El Taco Dealer, for the partnership for this episode. If you guys want to check them out, don't forget to click or send them the code TYL Braikan. So you know the spelling of my name. So let's go for that. Yeah, Prof, salamat dun sa mga insights kanina, and definitely napakalaman ng natin ng episode natin. Actually, sinasabi ko na non-political pero natutokso ako maging political because of this. What I like about you is neutral ka, and talagang may pros and cons when it comes to discussing things. So when it comes to, well, the title itself is The Young Leader. When it comes to leadership, I'm really a big fan of leadership, and I want to ask if meron ba tayong original Filipino leadership, and ano kaya yung ideal leadership sa generation na to? Like, we not for anything, it's more of like, I'm really inquiring about these things. And see, do you think that the leadership of our current president is effective, or anong president kaya yung effective yung leadership sa panahon ngayon, especially this pandemic? What do you think, Prof?
Well, tandaan natin na our old system before the coming of the Spaniards was the nato system. And this is the reason why talagang ang Pilipino, ang kanyang pagtingin sa leadership talaga personalities. Hindi katulad sa US o kaya sa Britain na they can look at parties and party stands. No? Kasi tandaan natin na ang dato nung unang panahon, siya yung may-ari ng mga bangka. No? Para makapangisda ang mga tao. Siya ang may-ari ng mga palayan. Para magkaroon ng... So, ang role ng isang dato sa isang bayan ay tagapagpamudmod ng ginhawa. So, nagbibigay siya ng ginhawa sa mga tao kasi kaginhawaan ng pinakamataas na nakagustuhan ng tao sa Pilipinas.
Yeah.
At tandaan natin na may kinalaman din ang kaginhawaan sa mabuting kalooban. Kaya yung leader is supposed to be matuwid ang kaluluwa. Kasi hindi nag-a-animate yung kaginhawaan kung hindi matuwid yung kaluluwa ng mga leader. So, ganun yung sistema ng dato. Kaya kapag ang dato, parang nagkaroon na siya ng na bumabagsak na yung kanyang gahom o kapangyarihan, meron ng ibang magte-take over na dato dyan na hindi necessarily yung anak. Okay? So, yun yung kaya pagka makikita mo yung pattern sa dynasties, pag makikita mo hanggat nagbibigay pa ng ginhawa yung pamilya ng isang tao, 'di ba? At gusto pa siya ng tao. Pero kapag hindi na, aalisin na rin siya mismo ng tao sa eleksyon.
Wow.
Kaya doon mo makikita na yes, na yung halalan natin actually may say talaga ang tao. No, pwedeng at one point pwedeng i-manipulate 'yan through voting fraud. Pero more or less, talagang ang tao rin. Kaya nga ako, I'm not a very big fan of people who say na bobotante ang mga Pilipino. No? Mayroong dahilan, lahat ng choices ng tao. And pinakamatindi na yon ng ginhawa. And remember, and we should look at history para mas concrete yung examples natin. Marcos, nung nagbibigay pa ng ginhawa si Marcos, 'di ba? Kasi napakagaling naman ng mga projects talaga niya. Talagang suportado siya ng mga tao. In fact, pinabayaan lang nila yung martial law regime niya kahit na dami-daming human rights violations. Pero eventually, yung leadership niya took its toll to the economy. So nung hindi na nagiginhawaan ng tao sa kanya, sila na mismo nagpatalsik sa kanya. So, ganyan din. I will not name names anymore, pero certain big families before na talagang mahal ng masa, 'di ba? Bigla wash out sila doon sa election kasi nagkaroon na ng sense yung tao na hindi na nagpapamudmod ng ginhawa. So, same with leaders, no? In whatever field you are. No, for example, people think that I'm a leader in public history, no? Not because I want to draw attention to myself, no? Yeah, people would still say na, "Oh, Xiao Chua, ikaw yung naging inspirasyon." Pero siguro kailangan itanong natin sa sa atin kung did we open opportunities for other people. Yan ang isang ng leader, no, na nag-o-open ka para guminhawa din sila. So for example, referrals, networking. bringing people together. So for example, may nangailangan ng tulong na isa, dahil marami tayong networks, dahil ang dami na nating nakausap, we were able to connect people. I think that's also one of the things na gustong-gusto kong ginagawa is when I connect like-minded people and then they begin to create projects, beautiful things, no? And yun ang ano, but to go to the point na ano ba yung mga leaders natin ngayon. And I do not want to name names na lang, no? Pero you know these people. Kailangan din kasi ang lakas talaga nung personality politics dahil sa dato system. Pero I think hindi naman masama na i-emphasize natin yung sinasabi ni Andres Bonifacio na yung kanyang konsepto ng democracy kasi finilipinize niya yun Ginawa niya, tinawag niyang haring bayan. So, hindi siya yung hari. Nagkamali yung nung mga historians noon, akala gusto niya maging hari. Hindi siya hari. Pangulo lang siya ng haring bayan. At ang haring bayan na yon, ang pangalan, Katagalugan. Dahil tayo lahat taga-ilog noon.
Yeah.
Austronesians, no? Yung mga ninuno natin. So, haring bayan, ang hari, ang bayan. Ang tao ang nagbibigay kapangyarihan sa isang pinuno, kaya siya naging pinuno. Very democratic concept ni Bonifacio. So, if you're going to look at it, there's a balance between strong leadership, which we should have, but also empowering people. Kasi ang fault ni Marcos was he centralized his powers to himself. Walang Congress, di ba? Lahat siya nasusunod. So yung tao, ang tingin, lahat ng ginhawa galing sa kanya. Well, in fact, ang kailangan mong gawin, lalo na sa panahon ngayon na mas marami ng Pilipino, ay to empower people na silang gagawa ng ginhawa para sa sarili nila at nang sila'y magkaroon din ng kapangyarihan. Yan ang balance na kailangan ng isang Filipino leader ngayon na hindi lang dinodraw mo yung attention sa sarili mo at sa strength mo, but you try to unite people. But the problem is, as you can see, people are being divided. And as if a lot of leaders today are thriving in the division. Diba? Which is sad. Yan ang pinaka malungkot ako sa mga nangyayari ngayon na parang imbis na unify tao, FBR is a very good despite his faults, Fidel V. Ramos, siya talaga yung isang president na kahit ang daming kumakalaban sa kanya, he was always trying to reach out and trying to do something with them to be able to build good legislation, kahit makalaban niya, and all of that. Kaya nga may Rainbow Coalition nun, makalaban niya, napagsama-sama niya So, naghanap ako ng ganong klaseng leadership sa panahon na kailangan nag-unite tayo dahil ang dami-daming crisis. Pero when you try to ease out other people, kasi democracy is not just strength in numbers. People mistake democracy for strength in numbers. Democracy is when people have power because they have the majority, but they also protect minority rights. That's the kolatilya of a democratic system. You don't bury the opposition. You don't bury dissent. You listen to them if they are saying something good. So, yun yung nagiging problem ngayon. Apaka-divisive. Kaya ako, pag ako'y nagtuturo ng kasaysayan, ang gusto kong ipakita, paano ba tayo pwede magkasundo? Imbis na regionalism, ipakita kahit marami tayong regions, makikita mo na may commonalities tayo. I'm sorry, Brian, na napakahaba, pero yan yung pinaka-summary nung daloy sa palagay ko ng Philippine leadership at ano yung kailangan nating gawin para mas ma-empower natin yung mga tao tungo sa kaginhawaan.
Ang ganda. Isa sa mga traits siguro ng Filipino is law of recency na kung kunwari magaling yung tatay, automatic magaling dapat yung anak. Kaya nagkakaroon tayo ng mga dynasty, sinabi nga natin kanina. Do you think, Prof, posibleng mawala yung dynasty dito sa Pilipinas?
No. No. Wala kang kagatol-gatol. Sasabihin ko hindi.
Why?
No, kasi una, hindi naman lahat ng political dynasties ay pangit May mga talagang nag-perform ng maayos. May mga nag-perform ng maayos. well, may mga favorite ako, so gusto ko magbanggit ng isa.
Go.
Halimbawa, hindi ako masyadong fan kasi nung anti-ERAP ako nung panahon ni ni ERAP doon as president. Medyo nadismaya ako. Gusto ko siya nung una kasi makamasa. Pero nadismaya ako sa kanya. Tapos isa sa mga crony niya, yung nakalimutan ko yung pangalan, si William Gatchalian yata.
Yeah.
Oo, si William Gatchalian. Yung Plastics King. No? Pero alam mo, yung mga anak niya, magagaling. Magagaling. Yeah. I mean, ni-reform nila ang Valenzuela, inayos ang sistema, at nakikinabang ang mga Valenzuelanon. So, I'm sorry, favorite ko talaga sila pagdating sa yung political system na yung ipinapasa sa pamilya. Pero of course, there's a warning. Na once kahit magkaanak pa kayo at hindi maging maayos ang kanilang pamumuno, tatanggalin din sa inyo yan ng bayan. Kaya kung kayo ay binigyan ng pagkakataon bilang isang pamilya, 'di ba? Huwag niyo wawaldasin yung pagkakataon na 'yun. 'Di ba? Wow. And try to empower other people. Kasi hindi talaga mawawala yan, talagang personality based tayo, but we should not kasi hindi natin madidestroy ang kultura talaga Nandiyan yan Pero you have to make a compromise na kung paano din na mag-rise up din yung iba kahit na ikaw ay nasa kapangyarihan.
Wow, that's a little heavy on the side when it comes to the leadership. Like, but I'm a fan of leadership and gusto ko talagang pinag-aaralan, pero mostly westernized kasi ang alam kong leadership kasi that's actually being applied in the corporate. And I didn't realize na meron tayong, alam mo yan, meron tayong Filipino leadership which is the nato system. And ang ganda nun, gusto ko yung sinabi mo na as long na nakakabigay or nagbibigay ng ginhawa yung leader, then yun yung gusto natin. But ngayon, if ever hindi na nagbibigay ng ginhawa, even na sobrang favorite natin before, then we will just hate the person or we will just hate their leadership. Ang ganda ng part na yan. Sige.
Brian, dadagdagan ko lang
Go.
Kasi, Brian, yung sinasabi mo about leadership, napaka-importante na tignan natin siya sa psikolohiyang Pilipino. At ang isang core concept ng psikolohiyang Pilipino ay pakikipagkapwa. 'Di ba? Yeah. You can all, of course, apply all the Western concepts in entrepreneurship, in the corporate world. Pero pagka dinagdagan mo yan ng pakikipagkapwa, halimbawa, may pakialam ka sa mga janitor nyo, nagpapakita ka ng concern kahit sa mga empleyado mo, kahit napakataas mo, kahit kausapin mo lang paminsan-minsan, ngitian mo, 'di ba? Yung pagpapakita mo ng pakikipagkapwa na hindi nila makakalimutan yun. Ay, boss siya, pero pinapansin niya ako. Ay, kahit na janitor ako, nag-good morning siya sa akin. 'Di ba? Kasi nakakalimutan niya ng iba na akala nila yung leadership ay nagpapatakbo ka ng maayos. Pero alam mo, ito yung sinasabi nga nila. Meron tayong tinatawag na yung vertical politics at saka yung horizontal politics 'Di ba? Minsan akala mo kung magaling kang politika sa mga leaders, you will get things done. Pero tandaan mo, at ito napakagandang experience kasi na-experience ko, na nakita ko sa ibang tao, na ang galing-galing nila na makipag-usap doon sa mga leader. Pero yung mga leader na yun, hindi naman yung magtatrabaho para sa'yo Ang uutusan pa rin nila yung mga staff nila. Pero kapag yung staff nila hindi mo kinakausap ng maayos, 'di ba? Inuutos-utusan mo ng hindi maganda yung pakiusap, o hindi pakiusap, pautos talaga na parang demanding. Ganyan. Alam mo, staff ang sisira sa'yo At staff ang magkukwentuhan, magchichismisan sa'yo. Kaya kung mabait ka sa staff mo, mabait ka sa mga staff ng ibang tao, 'di ba? Walang ibang sasabihin yan kundi ang bait-bait ni Sir ganito. Ang bait-bait ni Ma'am ganito. At yung mga intriga, medyo nababawasan mo yan. Na minimize mo yan. Kasi unnecessary hassle ang intriga Yung may naririnig ka sa ibang tao na parang galing sa mga ka-office mate mo. So, pakikipagkapwa, 'di ba? Pagbubukas ng loob, pero matatag ka din kung ikaw ay naaabuso na. So, yun yung naman yun. Yun naman yung balance din doon. May katatagan ka ng loob, may katapangan ka, kung sa palagay mo may mga pag-aabuso nang nangyayari. So, yan ang leadership. Yan ang leadership. Na ako hindi ako kumukuha ng maraming positions kasi sa totoo lang academic talaga ako. Gusto ko lang mag-isip. No? Pero yung logistics, hirap na hirap ako. Kaya malaki yung respeto ko sa mga leaders o sa mga tao na gumagawa ng logistics for leaders. Kasi ako talagang isip talaga ako ideas person. Pero kung paano mo itatranslate yan, gusto kong ibigay sa ibang tao yun, ipagkatiwala sa ibang tao. So, kukuha kami, the good leadership din, nakita natin sa history, is when you don't do all the work. It's when you delegate work, no? And make people feel their worth. Yung hindi yung masyadong, parang hindi mo ina-appreciate yung mga work ng ibang tao. Kasi kapag masaya silang nagwo-work, I'm sure na yung production nila ganun din. Kasi ganun din ako eh. Ayoko nang pinapahiya ako, ayoko nang. So, kung happy tayo, I'll give you the good work. And happy naman ang mga clients natin kung ganun. So, ganun lang. Pakikipagkapwa. Kailangan ipasok yung mga concepts ng mga ninuno natin sa leadership ng Pilipino.
Galing. Kasi, yung pakikipagkapwa is something really unique sa mga Filipino.
Yes.
Yeah. Wow, grabe.
Walang translation yan.
Walang
translation
iniisip ko siya.
Wala.
Well, talking about translation, icebreaker tayo. Ano po ba talaga yung translation ng magiting sa English?
Magiting. Mahirap, no? Kasi hindi siya katapangan.
Uh-huh.
Kagitingan is valor. Pagka valor, sa digmaan yun. 'Di ba? Pagka lumaban ka. Pero yung magiting, magiting, yung ano sabi mo, yung makisig ba? Magiting.
Magiting.
Valor yun.
Nice.
Valor
Ayun.
yun. Oo, valor.
Yeah, kasi matagal ko na siyang sinesearch and hindi ko makuha yung right na translation. Pero valor.
Even so, katumbas na lang yun. Hindi necessarily kasi lahat ng words cultural eh.
Uh-huh.
So, meron siyang mga pagkakatumbas, pero meron din pagkakaiba. Kasi halimbawa, yung valor, the araw ng kagitingan, day of valor. Pero yung valor, it's mostly sa gera yun ginagamit. Ang kagitingan, di ba? Yung kagitingan, namiminig natin, World War II kasi naiisip natin, o kaya Korean War, Pilipinas in the Korean War. Pero yung magiting, di ba? Hindi lang yan yung parang yung actually, iba na yung, alam ba, gallantry. Di ba, pag gallantry, rin yan, laban din yan. Pero yung galante, di ba, nagiging parang nagpapamudmud ng ginawa.
Galante yan.
Di ba?
Okay.
So, yung magiting, di ba, minsan, magiting siguro matapang, pero baka yung kagitingan din niya ay dahil mabuti yung kanyang loob at ipapakita niya ito ng walang takot. Di ba? Sa ibang tao.
Nice. Okay.
Oo.
Sige. Ngayon, natahimik na ako pagdating sa translation ng kagitingan or magiting. Anyway, Prof. Xiao. Prof. Xiao.
Okay lang. Oh, no problem. Either Xiao or Chow, pwede yan. Ha?
Okay. That's good. What advice kaya can you give your 15 younger self? When I say 15 younger self, if you're like around 36 today, minus 15, maybe you were 20 or mga ganun mga edaran and then you were just starting at that point.
Yeah.
Ano kayang advice na mabibigay mo? And was there a time na inisipan mo ng wag na lang ituloy kung ano man yung balak mo? And tell us the story about that.
Oh, meron. Kasi, there was a time nga nung ako ay controversially na hindi na-renew sa aking former department, no? At I thought yung pangalan ko nga ay nakasalalay doon sa nasa ilalim. Di ba? Xiao Chua, Michael Charleston, Xiao Chua. Di ba? Yeah. University of the Philippines. Di ba? So nung natanggal ako sa teaching noon, parang palagay ko ito na yung katapusan ko. Kasi parang peak of career na ng isang tao na makapagturo sa UP eh. Bahala ka na lang kung kailan ka magiging full professor or what. Pero kumbaga parang ako, that would have been the greatest fulfillment of my life was to teach in UP. Because I know UP, the name UP will lift me and my career. Parang kapag binabanggit ko yung UP, nagbubukas sa mga pinto. So, nung 21 ako, hindi pa ako natatanggal. Oo, hindi pa ako natatanggal. So, siguro ang maipapayo ko dyan sa sarili ko, una, never take yourself too seriously. That's always my payo sa lahat ng tao.
What do you mean by never taking yourself
yeah.
seriously?
Simple, ano? When you think you're so cool, di ba? You're like the 20-year-old, 30-year-old billionaires. Di ba?
Yeah.
And you take yourself too seriously. Hindi ka mabiro. When people say bad things about you, dinidibdib mo, which prone ako dyan. Kapag hindi mo na-achieve yung mga bagay-bagay, madali kang malungkot. Alam mo, don't take yourself too seriously. Ako, lagi ko sinasabi sa akin, you're just a human being. You are hindi ka mayaman, hindi ka maano. Ako, ganun. Not because I want to put down myself, but because I want to keep my expectations in my life modest.
Realistic.
Not because I have no ambitions, but because I want to keep myself na kahit ang daming dumating sa buhay ko, ano lang yan sa akin, parang hindi ko siniseryoso. It's not a big blow to my personality if I get failure. Yan ang not taking yourself too seriously.
Wow.
Yun ang sa akin. It's hindi yung parang magpaka-burara ka. Hindi ganoon eh. Pero ang buhay ay hindi madali. Ang buhay, kaya nga sabi ko, ang hirap din nun kapag hindi nasasanay na na-offend ang isang tao. Kasi people will offend you always. Kung nabully ka sa eskwelahan, mas mabubully ka sa opisina. Mas mabubully ka sa labas. 'Di ba? Nung naging public historian ako, mas nabully pa ako more than when I was bullied in school. 'Di ba? But I don't take myself too seriously. Ano kung bully niyo ako? 'Di ba? Ako lang naman 'to. I'm still Michael Chua from Tarlac City. Itong taong dumaki sa Tarlac. Yan yung sinasabi ko. And then, of course, take each day one day at a time. Yan yung isa. Zio Salazar told me when I was older, mga 26 years old data ako noon, when he thought that I was doing so many things already, my mentor, Zio Salazar, the great historian, said, alam mo siya, nung 40 years old ako, hindi ko pa nararating yung mga narating mo. Yun ang sinabi niya sa akin. So parang i-enjoy ko daw yung journey. Huwag daw ako magmadali and always restrained. Kasi ako, I'm a very passionate person. But when I was younger, hindi ko alam na overflowing ang passion ko na nakakainis ako. So people are all, Zio Salazar especially is always telling me, restraint. I-restrain mo sarili mo. Minsan, magpipigil ka rin. Alam mo kung kailan mo papakawalan yung kapangyarihan mo. Kasi may kapangyarihan tayong lahat eh. Pero alam mo kung kailan mo siya papakawalan. Siguro yan yung one. No? Don't take yourself too seriously. Two, live each day one day at a time. Yeah. And yung pangatlo siguro, sabi ni Teodoro Agoncillo, there are two kinds of UP students. One, the first kind of UP student is the one that he thinks that the UP name honors him. Pero dapat, we should live our lives na dapat ang UP ang na-honor sa ginagawa natin. Yeah. So, kaya nga ako, na-realize ko sa buhay ko that when I was out of UP as a faculty, actually mas lumawak ang aking reach, mas lumawak yung aking experience, mas lumawak yung aking understanding na pwede ako makinig sa ibang tao, hindi lang doon sa mga quote-unquote ka-level ko sa intellect. Kasi di ba UP and others ang tingin namin eh. Yun yung private joke namin eh, UP and others eh. Pero yung kasi may ganun din ako na parang pagka hindi ka taga-UP, parang hindi ka magaling. May ganun ako noon. Pero alam mo, my life is more enriching now. Because nawala yung ganong sentiment. Because ang kasama ko ngayon ay ang ordinaryong mga tao sa probinsya. Nagtuturo ako sa mga teacher sa probinsya and I learn from them a lot. Mas na-enrich ang buhay ko nung kasama ko na yung bayan at nung naglalapit ako sa bayan ng kasaysayan. Hindi sa universidad lamang, kundi sa labas. So, I think yun ang na huwag kang malungkot Dahil hindi ang institusyon dapat ang nagdadala sa'yo. Dapat yung pangalan mo, kaya niyang dalhin ng sarili mo. That's why I don't care if you just call me Xiao Chua historian. You don't have to put Lasal. You don't have to put anything. You just say Xiao Chua historian. Then that's it.
Grabe, ang ganda nun. Prof, kanina you talked about bullying. Di ba meron mga nangyayari kasi na the bullied becomes the bully. Meron bang ganun na nangyari sa na experience? Kasi you were talking about a while ago na you were bullied in the school, you were bullied in the office, but at some point meron bang panahon na you were the bully naman?
Well, not in a way na ako kasi parang hindi kasi ako confrontational na tao eh. So hindi kita yayariin na diretso. Hindi ako ganoon. Pero bully in the sense na ano ako yung well, some people I know are worse, pero hindi ako nagiikat sa mga sinasabi ko.
Straightforward.
Yan ang isang medyo straightforward.
Medyo
I'm
straightforward.
more think before you click. Kasi alam mo, hindi man yan bullying. Pag nagpakawala ka ng salita, nakakasakit sa damdamin yun, hindi nakakalimutan yun eh. People will not remember what you said. Every time. Alam mo, yung pinag-usapan natin dito, pag hindi mo to pinanood ulit, makakalimutan mo eh. But you know what you will not forget dito sa usapan natin? What you felt when we were talking.
100%.
Kupal ba ito? 'Di ba? Na-inspire ba ako nito? Masaya ba tong kausap? 'Di ba? Nasaktan ba niya ako? 'Yun ang naaalala.
100%. So, I totally agree with you, Prof.
'Di ba? So
sige, Prof.
It's important how you make people feel. Kung paano mo ibinubukas ang loob mo sa kanila in a very sincere way. Nandun ulit tayo sa kalooban, 'di ba? Sa pakikipagkapwa, magbubukasan ng loob. Nagiging mayaman yung experiensya. Kasi people will not remember kung sino ka, 'di ba? Kung sino ka, wala silang pakialam diyan. Wala silang pakialam kung Xiao Chua ako. Wala silang pakialam kung sino ako, kung na-UP ako nag-aral. Hindi 'yon. But what was I giving? What was I sharing?
The value.
Yan ang feeling ko. Maaalala ng tao. They will forget me. But they will bring that feeling. And hopefully, that translates to inspiration to do good things to other people. We're not perfect. I'm not totally perfect. There are things that was done to me before that eventually I did not know I was inflicting on other people. I will not talk about details. But kailangan din maging conscious ka when you have those kinds of programs. You call them programs. Mga nilagay sa utak mo noon, and then eventually nagagawa mo pala siya. And then you just have to be aware na sometimes you have to know your limits. But yes, I am shall we say, anong tawag dito? A work in progress.
We all are.
To be more approachable person. And it's not never-ending process because we're humans.
Very nice. Very nice. In this level, Prof, after all the achievements, after all the frustrations and failures and hard work and success, what do you fear the most? Ngayon, meron ka pa bang greatest fear? Well, let's not talk about like daga or snake. Let's talk about what's your greatest fear? Like in this level.
Well, the greatest fear is to ako yun na lang yung to lose my loved ones eh. Well, not necessarily death yan or what, no, but yung kasi naranasan na rin namin yan eh, yung 'di ba, magkaroon ng mga hidwaan.
Yeah.
At pagka sa mga taong mahal na mahal mo yan, napakasakit. Yan pa rin yung greatest fear ko. Of course, yung physical death is pero ako, I myself, wala akong, kumbaga parang, I'm kind of ready. Meaning, I'm already thankful to God. Kung ano man ang naging buhay ko. I mean, people have been so nice and generous about praising me that I felt that you should say that when I'm dead. So parang napapakinggan ko na ngayon kung ano yung yung nadudulot ko sa tao. So parang ako, thankful na lang ako sa Lord na, pero alam mo yun, yes, I fear all these things. And I still fear a lot. Hindi ako, kasi sabi ni Pete Lacaba, tsaka ni, sino to, si Armida Sigyon Reyna, ang tunay na matapang, ang sabi ng iba, ang matapang ay walang takot lumaban. Ang sabi ng iba, ang tunay na matapang ay lumalaban kahit natatakot. So, ang daming pwede pang dumating sa buhay ko. I mean, sabihin natin na may some ghosts of the past will haunt me. Di ba? Hindi natin alam. Di ba? There are stupid things that you've done when you are young.
True.
I will not deny that. Di ba? Lahat tayo may ginawa. Kung malasin ka, di ba? So, I don't know. I just have to be honest that, there are things that happen. Di ba? There are the stupid things that you have done. Diba? And you try to be a better person. But again, yun na nga, kailangan makita natin na, you don't take yourself too seriously. You're not perfect. You have to always,
nice.
Wala tayong maipagmamalaki. You just do it. Yun talaga yun eh. The bottom line is just do it.
Yeah.
Gawin mo lang yung gusto mong gawin.
Very nice. Salamat talaga, Prof, for this time that you've given to us. And kanina sinabi mo na you have a lot of things to do on your plate, but definitely you gave us the time to guest in the Young Leader podcast. And to close our episode, and I always close this episode with this question: who do you follow or what do you follow pagka-graduate mo ng college, pagka-graduate mo ng high school? Is it your passion or your parents? When I say your parents, you have to be practical with things and go with whatever academic na pag-aralan mo in college, or your passion. If you're creative, if you're not even creative, pero may gusto kang like siguro sa business or kung ano man, what do you follow, or where, who do you follow? Passion or parents?
Sorry, I will digress the answer that you usually have.
Go.
Both. You know why?
Why?
Because the Lord said that if we follow our parents, we will have abundance. Yan ang promise ng 10 utos eh. Pero naswertehan ko lang kasi yung nanay ko. Di ba? Pero yung nanay ko, tatay ko, never nila, ang bilin nila sa akin, kung ano ang gusto mong gawin, gawin mo. Kaya sinunod ko pareho. Kasi sabi nila, gawin ko yung passion ko eh. Di sinunod ko sila.
What about
ako.
What about dun sa mga What about dun sa mga hindi sila pinala dun sa mga utos ng parents nila na kailangan mag-nurse ka, kailangan kailangan maging teacher ka kasi teacher yung nanay mo, or maging sundalo kasi sundalo yung tatay mo?
Ayoko kasing nilalapastangan ng mga bata ang mga magulang nila. Ayoko yan. That's a no-no. Ang tao, makikita mo ang kanyang personalidad sa the way he treats his mother or his father. Or her father and her mother. So, huwag nyo lalapastanganin ng mga magulang ninyo. Pero, ito rin yung panahon na kailangan nagre-reason out kayo. In a very respectful way, you will say, Ma, I will be the best historian if you allow me. Because even if I will become a doctor, I will not be the best doctor in the field. Because my passion is to be a historian. Gaganunin mo. So, you reason out very respectfully. Sorry, hindi ganun I'm just joking, of course.
I know. I get you.
Ma, di ba? Parang pakiusapan mo. Ipakita mo sa kanya na nagsisikap ka naman sa pag-aaral mo. Wala namang, feeling ko, wala na rin namang napakatigas. At saka, alam mo, sa totoo lang, papayag namin yan sa gusto mo kapag bigla na lang niya nakikita na sa kahit anong gawin mong pagsisikap, ang bababa pa rin ang grade mo sa science. Di ba?
I know.
Hindi pwedeng ipilit yan, anak. Sige na nga, mag-English ka na lang. Sige na nga, mag-Philippine Studies ka. Pero hindi ka na lang yun. Kasi kailangan, alam mo, ang dami ng nurse, ang dami ng engineer, ang dami ng abogado sa mundo.
True.
Pero kulang tayo sa mga cultural workers, kulang tayo sa mga leaders na patriotic, may alam sa kasaysayan, Kulang tayo, So, we need patriotic entrepreneurs. We need patriotic,
Wow.
diba? People who knows, people who believe that money is not everything.
Very nice.
Diba? The arts is important. Yung dangal ng tao nakukuha niya sa arts, sa culture, sa knowledge ng kanyang kasaysayan, nakukuha niya doon.
Very
So,
nice.
ano na yan, at nagbabago na ang mundo. Nakita mo naman kung gaano na karami pupunta sa National Museum ngayon.
True. Totoo
Kailangan
yan.
makita natin yan na meron ng pagbabagong na nakikita na nila mahalaga ang kultura. Oh, and yan ang kaya nga out of touch yung opposition kay Duterte, no? Because I still believe I am part of the opposition, but I understand why people love him because of the Filipino culture that he exudes. Until we understand that, we will never win.
Yeah.
Yan ang dyan. Kailangan maintindihan mo kung bakit mahal siya ng tao. At kaya din tayo, bakit binigay sa kanya yung tiwala? Kasi sinayang ng marami sa atin ang binigay nilang pagkakataon sa atin. Or at least, we tried. Pero hindi nila nakita yung sincerity.
Totoo.
Sincerity pa rin eh. Diba?
Yeah.
Yan yung problem I will not name names because in many ways, he is my favorite. No? But he was a manager. One of our leaders was a manager. He was good at delegating things and he was able to accomplish a lot of great things. Pero people wants to see you in calamities. People wants to see you. People wants to listen to you talk with empathy. Na ikaw ay merong pakikipagkapwa sa kanila, merong sa kanila yung awa, may habag, may tawag doon merong simpatya sa nangyayari sa kanila. 'Di ba? So, 'yun. Pero kailangan din ng gawa. Siyempre, kailangan na ma-manifest yung gawa. So, alam mo sa totoo lang, most of our leaders are one way or another. Hindi sila nagiging dalawa. 'Yun yung problem. Pero again, kanya-kanyang style yan ng leadership And a certain leader is a leader of the country because the times warranted that he become the leader. But it doesn't mean that you will not criticize. I believe that there is a reason why Duterte is our president now. But it doesn't mean that I will shut up. Because I show my love for the presidency and for the country by being vocal about what I think about it.
Very nice. Ang ganda nun. You showed the love for the presidency and for the Philippines, but not for the president himself. Wow!
Yeah, but I want him to succeed. I want him to succeed.
Everyone
Brian,
does.
I want him
Totoo
to
yun.
succeed.
Despite of whatever is happening, despite of whatever feedback, at the end of the day, I'm with you with that, Prof. I want him to succeed, or whoever the president is, or whoever the leaders are. Kasi at the end of the day, tayo rin naman kawawa kung di sila nag-succeed.
Exactly. Especially during this time of pandemic.
Oh my God. Tell me about it, Prof. And by the way, Prof, thank you so much for being here. And I know you have a lot of activities and programs and a new YouTube channel. So invite everyone on where they can find you on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, socials, YouTube, and whatever. Kung ano man yung activities mo. If you do have those online activities as well, go invite them.
There are 3 Xiao Chua satellite accounts. Just follow the one with many followers. Yung I think 28,000 plus na yung followers niyan. Not so many, but I'm happy with it. I have a Twitter and Instagram. Just search my name, Xiao Chua. And then also my YouTube. Please support my YouTube page. I always post fresh content from there. Subscribe. Hanapin nyo lang, Xiao Chua. And thank you so much for having me, Brian. It's very rare that I actually talk about myself. I refrain from talking about myself. I always talk about other people, history of the land and all of that. But thank you for the opportunity to be able to share my experiences to our people. Salamat, kaibigan.
Maraming salamat din, Prof. And salamat sa oras. And thank you for telling history. Sobrang easy to understand siya. Ladies and gentlemen, again, Mr. or Professor Xiao Chua. By the way, guys, keep on supporting Pinoy podcasters and check out the Philippine Podcast Directory for other shows that might interest you. Thank you again for the support and all the love. This is the Young Leader Podcast with me, your host, Bryken Dayao.
This was another episode of
The Young Leader Podcast
with Bryken Dayao. Now make some noise and tell your friends about us. What up, what up? Like, share, and subscribe at The Young Leader Bryken. For more high geek content, visit us at brykendayao.com. As we always say,
and whatever you do,
be human.